synapses between neurons. Same thing we just said. It's the same thing that we just said. The synaptic buttons. Synaptic buttons are where what we just said, except between neurons, it's not the same thing in terms of it's not the same just acetylcholine making sodium go through inside the muscles. But it's still the same concept. Myelin. The more myelin there is, the faster the conductance. The thicker the axon, the faster the conductance. The vesicles get released when you have calcium, makes the vesicles release. You see these synapses on here on these dendrites? Each neuron has, get it? Each neuron has somewhere between 10,000 and 50,000 synapses per neuron. Man, how'd you like that on your Facebook? What do you have? 50,000 friends? Wow. 10,000 and 50,000 synapses. Wow. Is that colossal? And you know what we get when we have somewhere around 100 billion stars in the galaxy? Wow, the 100 billion is about the number of nerves in your brain. That's about the number of neurons in your brain. So the number of neurons in your brain is about 40 to 100 billion. 40 to 100 billion neurons with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 synapses on each one. 100 billion neurons with 20, 30, 40, 50,000 synapses. How many? God, that's a lot of zeros. 1 trillion, 10 trillion, 100 trillion. Ooh, at the sound of the tone. Well, let's take a number like, just add 4 zeros, 10,000 onto that. 5 zeros, excuse me, let's add that. Just adding that and just saying even a low number, like 100 billion neurons with 10,000 synapses on each one is 1 quadrillion. You know what that is? That's the number of stars in the galaxy. The Milky Way galaxy has the same number of stars as you have the number of synapses in your brain. Wow. In the image of somebody created somebody. There it is. That's it. What does it mean, right? Wow. The same number. Your head, your brain is a galaxy. It's the Conrad Fischer galaxy. Shiny nebula. Okay? Wow. Exciting. And speaking of exciting, look at these excitatory. Isn't that amazing? The number of synapses in your brain is the same as the number of stars in the Milky Way. That's it. Each human being is a galaxy unto himself. Wow. And just has as many potentials. Excitatory, okay, moves closer to its threshold. Now that's another to say, these are excitatory because it means that you're going to depolarize. In other words, you get these excitatory potentials, they take you from the minus 70 up there, and they start to move you up towards the threshold where you might depolarize. If you get enough of them, bang, 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 you will depolarize. Excitatory because it moves the threshold. Threshold is the level at which you will spontaneously depolarize. Moving the car up the hill. See, excitatory postsynaptic potentials is the same as I push the car, I push the car, I push the car, I push the car. I finally got it to the top of the hill. I'm moving it up towards its threshold at which it will spontaneously roll down the hill. And what happens is you get more conductance to sodium. Yeah, that's what we said. We said that if inside of the cell is that the sodium goes in, sodium is positive, and it makes it more positive inside. We did that, played that, been there. Now, these excitatory postsynaptic potentials are the same as end plate potentials. It's the same concept. It means more repetitive stimulation that makes you close to depolarization. Remember subthreshold stimuli? Subthreshold, Hi, what's your name? How are you? Would you like to go out? Oh, no, let's get engaged. Let's get married. Boom. So the subthreshold stimuli, that's what those are. Now, acetylcholine is excitatory. Glutamate and aspartate you don't think about. But glutamate and aspartate are stimulatory. And look, I understand if you didn't know that glutamate and aspartate were stimulatory because you don't think about it that much. That's glutamate and aspartate. I mean, the cleanest thing I can think about aspartate is like artificial sweeteners, like aspartame. Makes me happy. Okay? It's excitatory, okay? Now, inhibitory. Can we just say the opposite of everything we just said? Inhibitory potentials, if the interior of the cell is at minus 70 and depolarization means it's going to go up, inhibitory potentials bring it down. Inhibitory potentials bring it down. They bring it away from its threshold. Threshold means the level at which it will, boom, depolarize. So, produced by increased conductance to chloride. By increased conductance to chloride. Chloride, as you can see, is negatively charged. Now, if chloride conduction brings it away from threshold, is the chloride going into the cell or out of the cell? Threshold means that it's becoming more positive. Threshold means becoming more positive. Means the interior of the cell is becoming more positive. Depolarization means that the cell becomes more positive. So is the chloride going to go in or is the chloride going to go out? The chloride is going in. It means the chloride is going in. The chloride is going into the cell, making it more negative, bringing it away from threshold. Now, glycine. You never thought about that, right? It's inhibitory. Oh my God, just keep me away from this glycine. It's inhibiting me. GABA, it's inhibitory. I'm afraid you'll just have to memorize that for the time being, that glycine and GABA are inhibitory, but glycine and GABA are inhibitory. Okay. You don't have to memorize that chloride going in is inhibitory because the interior of the cell is negative. Making the interior of the cell negative brings it away from threshold. So it means the chloride going in makes it more negative. Chloride is negative. The negative thing goes in, makes it more negative in there. Oh yeah. So it brings it away from threshold.